This is our new Bluetti Elite 100 V2, a 1800 watt power station that we've recently received. It's got a number of features here that I'll run through very quickly, but up there is your DC input and also your solar panel input. If you're ever unsure about what size panel your power station can take, Bluetti pop it above the actual slot itself. Below that is the standard cigarette lighter DC output and pin sockets, also DC. Then we've got further over to the right hand side here, we've got 4 USB slots, 2 of which are USB-C and 2 USB-A. Power on, which is on currently because I've started to charge this up. 2 AC sockets over there, which you need to switch on with the AC button, and DC for anything that you're doing on DC. Mains power connects from the right hand side just using a kettle lead that comes with it, and around there is also the grounding pin should you need to do that. Prior to using your Bluetti, there are a number of things that you need to do. First and foremost is calibration of it to ensure that the battery meter is in line with what the actual battery says it is. And one of the things that you do to start that process is to charge it fully from the state that it's arrived to you at. So it came to us and it was at 35%. I've only had it on a few minutes, probably about 10 minutes now, and it's gone up to 43% there. So we'll leave that to go up to 100% and then start the full calibration process. In the meantime, you can go along to the App Store and download the Bluetti app. You can also get that from the QR code on the top of the power station. I'm in my motorhome at the moment because this is where this is primarily going to be run. I've got solar panels there waiting to be opened and looked at as well. So download the Bluetti app and then update it immediately, but just leave it at that point. Wait until this is 100% full and then start binding the two together, and that is done either by Bluetooth or by wireless. It's useful to have it wirelessly connected because then to your phone or your iPad, because then regardless of where you are able to control the power station. Having the app also means that you can do this, as I've said, I'm in my motorhome. If we put this into a cabinet or into the boot of the motorhome, I can control it from inside without having to go out to switch it on, off, or change any settings on that. So once this is back up at 100%, then I'll come back and go through the calibration process. One thing to note here is that this charging needs to be done on shore power, on grid, not via solar panel, because you need to ensure that going both powering up and then when we discharge it, that there is no interruption there. If there is, then it's going to affect the way in which the calibration is done. What is calibration? Calibration is really looking, as I've said, at the meter within the battery. It doesn't affect the battery itself. Nothing that you do in this process will affect the battery. It won't make it better and it won't make it worse. But what it will do is means that you can see what state the battery is at and it's a correct reading. It is possible for it to get out of sync, and you might find that it's taking forever to charge this up. It should take, let's say it should take 4 hours, and you're finding that you're still there at 12 hours trying to charge. And what's happened there is that the meter reading is out of sync with actually what the battery state is. That's called the SOC there, so which is state of charge. So the most important thing to do is to make sure that you know where you are with your battery. You could have the opposite situation where you're using the Bluetti believing that you've got perhaps 80% because that's what the meter is telling you, but unfortunately you're down at 10% and it suddenly cuts out on you. So it's important to do this when you first get it, puts it into sync straight away, and then it's recommended about every 3 or 4 months, or if you get a problem, if you have one of those two situations arises, which is where you are looking at either charging too quickly or not charging because it believes that it is full, and likewise with the discharge. So as you can see, we're now at 92% charge. It hasn't taken too long to get up to there. Whilst we're going up that last 8%, I'll just take you through a few other things to know about the Bluetti Elite 100 V2. The ways in which you can charge all Bluettis is via the basic same routes. AC wall socket, just ensure that you're fully grounded with that. If you aren't, then make sure that you put the grounding pin in and ground it yourself. Solar panel, car cigarette lighter. With that you need to make sure that the car is running, otherwise you risk running that down flat itself. There's also the Charger One device, which we have and don't have set up yet. But that is basically a little unit that goes between the alternator of the car or motorhome and the Bluetti itself. That will charge the Bluetti as you're driving. And also then you've got the generator, so ensure that you're using a pure sine generator, and that will charge this up as well for you. Charging rates at the speed that they can do, there are three main things. The standard, which is 2 hours, that will take in 600 watts AC max, and if you look at ours you'll see we're at 598 watts there. Turbo, you can get up to 80% of the battery charged in approximately 45 minutes, but it is at 1000 max watt input, and that's really used for a quick recharge. It's not something you would do every single time, but if you need it quickly, then you've got that option. And then silent mode, it's quiet. Basically it's a quiet operation, but using the same sort of AC of 600 watts, and also takes about 2 hours. All three ways of charging here can be done alongside solar input, so you can have a solar panel up there as well. Eco mode is enabled by default, and the power station will switch off if you've got low or no use in it. So if you've got something, an older iPhone for example, uses much less power than, or draws much less power than a newer one, and sometimes it will look like it's not drawing anything, it will say 0. If you leave it on that, then it's highly likely that the eco mode will switch off the AC and DC features on there, buttons on there, so that it's saving battery, because it doesn't think that there's anything being used. By itself, without anything being plugged in, if it was just switched on, it would still drain some power, so that's where it goes into the power saving mode, switches it off completely. There's a couple of other really good features with the Bluetti, one of which is a time control feature, where you can save money by scheduling when the Bluetti charges, so that you can do this during off-peak hours, or in some places they offer free hours. Often that's between midnight and 4 AM, so you can set it up so that it will charge during that time. And then you can personalize that as well, so that you've got it charging during that time and then discharging during the peak hours, so that you're using it to power devices during the peak hours. With the Elite 100 V2, what you also get in the box is a solar panel cable, as well as your normal AC connector. At this stage, what I'm going to do now is to log in into the Bluetti app, see whether there are any app updates that are required, and I'll do those first, and then I will start the pairing process, and I'll do that by clicking on the button there that says add device, and that should automatically find the Bluetti 100. At this stage I'm going to start binding the Bluetti Elite 100 to my app so that we've got them both together there. And I'll do that just by clicking on the add device button here, and you can see that it's, oops, sorry, it's out of focus there, but it is listed. So I can click on that there and it will start doing the binding. Click on OK. So it's searching for it. Binding is now successful, and that was how quickly it was. Do I want to set up the Wi-Fi? No, I'll skip that for the moment. And now I'm going to start the actual process of, there we go, we've got it up there online. I want to connect via Bluetooth, so it's going to start searching for that. It's telling me now that it's at 99%, and there's estimated of 1 minute charge time left, and you can see there that it's coming in from the grid. It's dropped down now to 398 watts coming into that. So I'm just going to go and have a quick look for any updates that are required on it, on the actual device, not on the app. As you can see, it's now at 100%. So what we'll do now is just check to make sure if there's any updates that are necessary. And you do that by going to the home page on the app. You can see I've got 4 items listed there, the Elite 30 V2 and 2 Apex. So just click on the 3 dots next to the Elite 100, and down at the bottom there is a button there that says upgrade. That will search and have a look, and it's saying that there is a system upgrade to be done, so click on that. Check to make sure that there's sufficient capacity, which is basically the battery level, in order to do it, and it's now starting that firm upgrade or update. Whilst you're doing this, you want to leave both the app, the iPad, which is what I'm using here, and the device very close to each other, approximately 5 foot away, and just leave that to do its update, and I'll come back when that's done. So it's now showing that the upgrade has been successful and to reconnect to the device. So we just click OK on that. It's saying offline at the moment, so click on that. Do it via Bluetooth as we're connected, showing us up at 100%. And I have plugged this camera in, so we're showing that it's got a small discharge going on already. And what I will probably do with this is that my Elite 30 V2 needs charging, so I will probably plug that into this one to discharge this one and charge up the other at the same time. And I will get back to you as soon as we've done that. So that's all of the updates that have been done now. The most important thing now is to make sure that we discharge this, the Elite 100 V2 fully without any break in the actual discharging. So I will leave this on whilst we get the other set up. Discharge this fully, recharge it fully back up to 100%. Don't leave it in a state of discharge. You've got to let it go right the way down so that it powers itself off and shows it as inverted commas dead. And then you need to do this back up again. You need to recharge it back up again pretty sharpish, so that we're not getting a situation where it's left without any power. It's not good for the battery if that happens. So that's what I will do now, is I will get this discharged, recharge it up fully, and that is the calibration complete. And it is advisable to do this. It's in all power stations, not just on a Bluetti. It does mean that you're going to get a better look at what's going on within it. You're going to be able to know that this is a true reading there.